All right, so let's start with correction. Let me quickly show you how to correct colors, and then we'll move to correcting of exposure. So let's say we want to correct this color. For instance, you can see they have two different colors. Of course, we know they have two different colors, and I want to make these two colors the same thing. You can see. So now I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer. Just grab this one and create an empty layer. Now you're going to take the magic brush tool and select the color you want to correct. Let's say I want to correct this one. So I'm just going to select that color. It's going to select the range, and you can hit M on the keyboard. You can see the selection. So the more you click, the more it selects that area. I'm just going to quickly select all our body, and now we have that selection. You can go ahead and remove it from the eyes if you don't mind. Just make it smaller, and just brush remove the eyes like that, just little part of the eyes and maybe the lips. Okay, so let's say we want to correct that. So now you're going to go to the color editor tab and the skin tones, because I just selected the skin tones. I use it mostly for skin tones though, but I still use it to correct other colors. Now I'm just going to pick on this hand tool, and I'm going to choose the color I want it to look like I want that color to look like. For example, I want our skin to look like this dark skin, so I'm just going to select that color range. It's going to give me that that range. You can push it out if you want to, but you can just leave it. Now all you just need to do is to increase the uniformity 1, and once you increase the uniformity, you can see that it's already changing to the purple which is found in this image. Okay, so let's go ahead and increase the saturation. So once you increase the saturation, let's overdo it. It's going to almost want to blend it, and the lightness increase. I'm overdoing it so that you get the idea. The lightness actually increases the what's it called now, it increases the flatness in the image. So I will advise you not to go ahead and go extreme with it, but it tries to copy the brightness of this and copy it on this image. Okay, so we have that, and it's just going to copy the brightness. Saturation, you can bring it backwards. So let's just try and get the real color of this one, and we're going to desaturate with this one, bringing it downwards like that, and probably change the hue. So taking it forward, add a kind of yellow hue to it, and taking it backwards, add some kind of red hue to it. So I guess on his face we have the yellow hue, and we can now use this lightness, probably bring it downwards and make it a little bit darker, more extreme, like his home. So we have to dark image, and it's sometimes very hard for you to really get this, so you have to do it twice. But if I want to use this one, I can just go ahead and do this first one, and then let's go ahead, let's extend it forward, and then bring this downwards and go back. You can see as I'm taking this downwards, I can take it downwards extreme, and we'll have the same color. So it's just very simple, just by using this slider, and boom, so you have the same darkness. If you still want to get the same dark this, you can use your curve, you get, or you use your like I said, use your high dynamic range and bring down the white, bring down the shadows, and just replicate something to have a similar look. Okay, so that's that, and you can see our before. So let's check, these are before, and then this is our after, the two having the same color. Just rushing it out, you can get more on this image. Let's go to the exposure and maybe bring down the saturation, so you can do more on it and get the same look. Okay, so now you can see before and then after, so you get the stuff. So that's mostly used for color correction. I'm gonna get rid of that one. Let's just leave it. Let's take on this image. Now on this image, you can actually do color correction. You can select the background, you can select the skin tones like I just showed you. So just create a new layer. Let me close this curve, create a new empty layer, and then color correct. We want to color correct, so just pick on the this magic tool, select the skin tones and hit M on the keyboard, it's going to select that range. You can see how it's selecting the range. So sometimes it will be very hard because there are some colors on the face which is also present on the body. So just like that. And what we can do here is, if we want to make the colors the same, the color of the hair and the color of course we don't want to do that. Well, for this one I'm just going to show you that we can do that. So just click on this one. Let's say I want the color to look more saturated like this. I'm just going to select that part and then increase the uniformity of that, and it's going to blend the two together and increase the saturation and just take a little more on the lightness. You can take this one forward. You're going to see a very practical application of it. So increasing the saturation, and you can see that it's actually blending the saturation. And now let's say you can see this bright side. We don't have colors there. Let's quickly see before. Of course we have little color before and after, but this bright side, you can make a selection of that on. You can just create another new empty layer and then select that bright part alone. So if I select that bright part alone, we have it like this. And you can go ahead and go to what's it called now. So this is exposure. You're correcting the exposure of that place and removing those tints. Okay, you can bring down the brightness of that place, but I won't advise you to use the brightness. Instead, I will advise you to use the high dynamic range, which is the highlight. Bring down the highlight and bring down the white, okay, so of that place, and then you can see how it is before and after, and probably increase the saturation of that place alone. So if I take it to high, it's going to solve that solution. So you can see before and then look at after. Well, this is just an example, and let's go ahead, select this. Now the places that are too exposed, okay, you can make a selection of that. Let me see this one. Okay, let's use this one. Now I'm just going to go ahead and create a layer, an empty layer. For this one I used, okay, let's remove all these settings I used before. Okay, so now create an empty layer, select your mask and select the brightest side. Hit M on the keyboard. It's going to select those places, even on our body. You can keep selecting. Let's keep selecting the bright side. So it's going to select. Now if you want to make adjustment, you can right click and you're going to see the refine and tolerance. So if I increase the refine, it's going to increase. Let's select bright side towards that side. So so we have the bright side selected. So if you want to correct it, use the high dynamic range before going to the exposure. So I can take the high dynamic range. You can even bring it downwards, but sometimes you need to adjust either the white in the image, whichever way. Please try as much as possible when taking your shots. Don't use don't overexpose. Okay, so just bring down this one and then we have that, just like that, and you have from bright image to this will be very useful later on. Okay, so if you can't do it like that, there are more ways to do it. Using this color editor, you are going to just select that particular color, and it's gonna, you can bring down the light, bring it down like this, you get, bring it down, and then start with the lightness and you mess around with it. Let's take it up a little bit. So if you don't have anything to compare with, it's not going to work. So it's just going to be like that. Why? Because we are not using any reference. So let's use the reference on our let's attack part. So let's bring it down because we have that reference. Now you can increase the lightness and bring down this one. So it won't actually have effect that much, but it's actually okay. So but we can decrease, we can decrease the opacity of that layer and make it look realistic. So we have that one. Let's say we want to correct the color of our what's it called now, skin. We can just grab, in fact, let's create a new fill layer, bring down the brightness. So like this. Yeah, I think it's okay like this. Now create another new empty layer. I'm going to select a skin, so just drag to select a skin. Hit M on the keyboard. It's going to calculate the skin, so we have the color of the skin. You can even see the light part. I'm going to select that part as well. So our skin has been selected, and we can go to the skin tones tab, which is the color editor tab. Let me close all this so you know where I'm going to close. So we have the skin. Remember, I'm not using the basic and advanced. I'm just using the skin tones because we're dealing with skin here. So I'm going to click this one, and then I want the color to look like it's a very good place. Let's say I like somewhere, let's choose somewhere here. Yep. Or you can choose the tip of the nose. Let's choose somewhere. Yep. So take it up, and I'm going to go back. So see what happens as I increase the hue. So since I have that, I'm just going to increase the hue, and it's going to increase the hue of everything together. And if I increase the saturation as well, every color is going to blend together. Let me make it, so take it backwards. Let's see. Good. So we have that, and you can increase the lightness as well. It's going to blend the lightness, and you can see that it's actually working. If you take this towards, it's going to give you a yellow hue. If I take it extreme, you're going to see the yellow hue. If I take it backward, you're going to see the red kind of skin. I really hope you are seeing it. Red and yellow. So you can see. So I like this yellow. I can increase the saturation and get the best saturation needed. So but please mind the way you use saturation. So I just got a uniform saturation from this one, and just that. And you can mess around with any other color you want to mess around with. So sometimes you need to do this again for some skin that are very hard to do. You need to do color correction and the autumn correction, and then you go back again to adjust. If I want to adjust this side alone, for example, I'm just going to create another empty layer. So let's say I want to work on the skin tones again. I want to work on this dark part of the skin tones. I'm just going to select it alone, and if you hit M on the keyboard, you're going to see that it selects just that place alone. You can see the M, see the brush, select that place. I can select this dark side again. It's part of the skin tones, I'm going to select this dark side on our skin. So let's say we have that now. Since you can now mess around with it, let's hit M. You can take this one, click on any of the tone, increase the uniformity, increase the lightness. So if you increase the lightness, it's actually going to make it brighter. So let's take it up, all the way up, and let's open up. You can see, turn it off and on. You can see, let me zoom in, before and after. You can even go ahead, but it's now flat, so I'm not going to increase the lightness all the way up. Instead, I can use the high dynamic range and bring up the shadows. If I take the shadows up, you can see it's actually doing the same. Take up the black, it's still doing the same. Okay, you can use the brightness, take up the brightness, it's still doing the same. So but don't make your image look flat. You can bring it downwards, you can bring it upwards. You can add do dodging and burning with that. All right, so that's for correction. Okay, so I just show you everything about correction. Recap, we have this, which is our before. I can see some purple tints on our face though, but that's the best we could go. All right, so that's that. Thank you. I'm going to show you how to do that correction, all this blending of skin tones in Capture One, so that when you do your frequency separation, it's actually going to be very easy for you.